Hi, I'm Glenn Whipp with the Los Angeles Times. We're continuing our Emmy Contenders series, and joining us today from Barry, Anthony Carrigan. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Bill Hader not long ago.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, that's good. He says that when he goes out, he's out in public, people have two things they want to tell him. One, they want to ask him, what's it like to work with Henry Winkler?
Yes.
And two is, you better not kill NoHo Hank.
Right. Yes, yes. Quite a few people have told him that. Sometimes they shouted at him, but yeah, it's always nice to hear. You know what I mean? I love job security is fantastic.
He's told you that.
Yeah, he's told me about people saying that. You know what an important character NoHo Hank is. So it always makes my day, and yeah, it's nice to know that my character is really kind of I don't know, having an impact on people.
Yeah. Well, and it's nice to have that job security on a show like this, right?
Yeah, I'll take it. Absolutely. When people are going straight to the boss, then I'm fine with that.
It's also a show where characters have died. I mean,
yes,
and they don't hesitate if the story kind of leads in a particular direction.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Say okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's HBO. Yeah. It's not TV. It's HBO. It's not HBO. It's a slaughterhouse. Everyone dies. Comedy, tragedy.
Yeah. So, did you think, as you were going through season 2, and we're talking 5 of the 8 episodes have aired. Right. I've seen 6. 6 ends, and NoHo Hank's.
Yeah, I know.
It's just,
it's very, I know.
It looks dicey.
It gets dicey. It certainly gets dicey.
Because he's living in kind of on the edge.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think, the stakes are much higher this season, and, everyone seems to be in this kind of predicament in which they are getting closer and closer to just completely being killed off. So it makes for great television, but it's certainly very stressful.
Did Bill ever offer you any assurances as the season was going through, like you're going to make it, buddy, you're okay?
Yeah, I mean, he would toy with us, in a really cruel and evil way. He just, he loved to do that. You know, just no. He was the best. I mean, honestly, he would just he loved to kind of keep a tight lid on everything. So we were all so thirsty for all the details and like what was going to happen throughout the season, and he kept it very much under wraps. But I think what was cool is that I don't know. Once you start to read the scripts, you're like you discover how cool it is, and even if you were to be killed off in it, it's just such a cool project to work on. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you're going to go out in a really fantastic way.
Yeah, but you want to kind of delay that as long as possible.
Sure.
Probably.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I saw you on Seth Meyers, and Seth was saying there's going to be a season 3, and you were like really excited.
Yes.
And that's when I knew, okay, I think NoHo Hank's okay.
I don't know.
No, you seem too excited about season 3.
I don't even know. I do it. I just do it, and then I forget about it. I give my performance, and I'm so in it that Anthony is unaware of whether NoHo Hank lives.
And they probably on the finale filmed like 5 different endings.
5 different endings, exactly. It's
you don't know which one they're going to choose.
It's like a choose your own adventure, totally.
What I loved. And I'm one of those people. I'm not shouting it. I haven't seen Bill Hader in public and saying, "You better not kill him," but you better not. You better not. But and like the season 2 beginning episode, there's just this great NoHo Hank scene where there's a couple, and everyone probably talks to you about the wig. I bet you think that's where I was going.
No, it could go in any number of directions.
There was the other one where he shows up after the acting class.
Right.
And he has been disrespected by Barry and issues this really ominous warning. And the music's, menacing, and then he gets in his car and drives away. But when he gets in his car and turns on the engine, there's this great pop song.
Yeah, pop song, totally.
And I could not stop laughing.
Yeah. I know. That's what Barry does so well, is it kind of just creates an incredible moment and then just flips it on its head
Yeah.
just
Yeah, yeah.
easily.
Yeah, I mean, you're so good at delivering that warning, but then it's just beautifully undercut
Yeah.
when he drives away. And that's NoHo Hank, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is. It's kind of NoHo Hank to a T. I mean, what was really fun about that scene was that, you know, all the pieces were there, and, you know, NoHo Hank is this kind of lovable, sweet guy. I mean, he's also a mobster, yes, but he is very, like, naive and kind and considerate and polite. But, you know, everyone has their limit, and, you know, especially with a character like Barry, who's, you know, Hank considers to be like his best friend,
Right.
even though Barry doesn't feel that way. And then, you know, when you get your feelings hurt by someone, I don't know, maybe don't make a mob boss angry. Maybe that's the moral of the end of the episode. Is like,
lesson to
maybe
take.
don't cross the Chechen mob boss. Maybe, yeah.
Well, and I think, you know, obviously he wants him to carry out this hit.
Right.
But yeah, I think you're getting at what's really the essence of it. His feelings have been hurt.
Yeah, for sure.
Considers Barry a friend,
Right.
and Barry called him an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's certainly, you know, the darker side of Hank kind of comes out a little bit, which was nice. It's a nice different kind of texture to
Right,
play
right.
with, you know.
What's the song that he's playing in his car?
I'm actually unsure because there were a couple different options, and you know, when I finally saw it, I was laughing too hard to actually register it. Yeah.
I kept replaying it, trying to see it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not. What would be on NoHo Hank's Spotify playlist that he's?
Oh boy, I mean, yeah, I think that, you know.
What's
Let's
he
see.
listening to as he's tooling around North Hollywood?
Just tooling around North Hollywood. I mean, you know, just as kind of character inspiration, I listened to a lot of Huey Lewis and the News, just because it was very like 80s kind of poppy, upbeat music, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of pop, I imagine. You know,
Okay.
some deep cuts from Christina Aguilera, Britney, you know. Yeah, it's Justin Bieber even. I don't know.
can see
Just
that,
just
sure.
riffing.
You mentioned Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah.
But you mentioned 80s. Is the 80s like kind of a for NoHo Hank? Is that like a pop culture, you know, key period for him?
Yeah, well, that's kind of how I saw it when I was developing the character. Is that he certainly has this kind of very specific depiction of what America is and what kind of you know, going to America means, and like, and in my mind, I just envisioned it as, you know, little NoHo Hank with probably about 15 VHS tapes, just watching them over and over and over again, and they're all like 80s action movies or like 80s, you know, buddy rom-coms, and you know, that's kind of how I envisioned it, and then I don't know, I just kind of like the idea that he bases all of his perception of Los Angeles on that, you know.
Yeah. So you're talking about like the Stallone,
Oh yeah,
Schwarzenegger.
totally. Stallone, Schwarzenegger, and you know, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys for sure. But maybe like throwing a little Troop Beverly Hills too. You know what I mean? Just for reference points.
Sure. Yeah, that would be his idea of Beverly Hills.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
So does it say how long? Does it ever say how long he's been in L.A. area?
No, it's not really disclosed. I
Right.
mean, you know, we've talked about it a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. There's certain things that you kind of need to leave open, you know, in order to I don't know, in order to flesh out certain details in the future. You know, you never want to paint yourself into a corner by putting in too many details up front.
It's funny because I think it was the HBO account for Barry
Yeah.
tweeted this over. Will we get a NoHo Hank backstory on Barry? Like the official HBO, they really want it apparently.
That's
This is
great.
coming from the
That's
this is
fantastic.
coming from the execs, I think.
Well, they might be able to pull some strings.
Yeah,
You know, I
right.
hope that
Maybe Bill
HBO
will
might be able to, to talk to Bill.
We'll get the origin story.
And again, get the origin story. That
Like
sounds.
when the plane lands.
Yeah, exactly. Hank's first 24 hours in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, he does seem to have some good advice for like his parting words, I think, to Barry after they finished training in the desert was, "Stay off the 405."
Yeah, stay off the 405. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's real. You know, the 405 is just always dreadful.
Yeah.
So,
What would be
sage words.
What would be like? Does Hank get out and about? Do you think in L.A.? He seems to really enjoy the city.
I think
where does
he
he
loves
shop?
Where does he shop? I would say probably. I mean, he goes to all of the malls, I imagine. You know,
Yeah.
like he's no stranger to the Glendale Galleria. You know, he knows the Grove like the back of his hand.
He's got
I'm
good-
sure he's just at every farmer market. You know,
Okay.
every farmer's market. He's just, you know.
And he has a good sense of style. What did you imagine as his style came from?
Well, what was really cool is our costume designer Audrey Fisher is an absolute genius, and so we kind of, you know, developed. There were a few things on the page initially, but we had a few brainstorming sessions, and she just really nailed it with like these really tight-fitting khakis and shorts and the polo T-shirts and yeah. So you know, I think that's probably where he would shop. But no, but the costume department certainly nails it.
I love when he's out in the desert and he has like the gardening hat on,
Yeah.
and the scarf.
Yes, totally. Yeah, someone referenced Diane Keaton, I believe, and I was like,
right,
yeah,
right,
okay.
right. Yeah, you can
Or like,
see that.
yeah, or a little like Island of Dr. Moreau as well, you know?
Yeah. Did you? I mentioned what Hader gets when he's out in public. What do you get from people?
I
who
mean,
see you?
just such joy. It's really wonderful. It's like NoHo Hank is people's, you know, good pal. So I love that. I mean,
Right.
I was in New York recently, and I was walking out of my hotel, and just in true like New York fashion, this guy, this like big New York dude, like leaned outside of his window, and he just screams, "Hey, NoHo Hank, how you doing? Love what you doing." It was great. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm officially in New York. This is fantastic.
So it's a character that people, I mean, just really seem to love.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what Hader is getting. You don't kill.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, he's a sweetheart, you know. He's complicated. He's
Complicated
yeah,
sweetheart,
he's
yeah.
a complicated sweetheart, but I don't know. He tries really hard, you know.
Yeah.
He tries
Yeah.
really hard.
Well, I think probably what people are responding to too is just that maybe a little bit of that neediness too. He wants to have a friend.
Yeah, he wants to be friends
Yeah.
with people, and he wants to have a kind of, you know, community and comrades, and I feel like, you know, sometimes he wants more of that, the camaraderie, than the actual nitty-gritty of it, you know?
Right. Do you enjoy trying to make Bill Hader break on set?
Yes. Yes, I do. That is a solid yes. I mean, it's, you know, it's just such a fun environment when we're shooting. We all have such a good time. And yeah, like, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful challenge to make that guy break. And we're constantly just messing with each other. And it's, you know, there's this one scene that we did, which was in the car at the beginning of episode 2, when Hank is giving him the kind of like rundown of the stash house and Esther,
Right.
you know, and shooting her and giving him that rundown. And yeah, we couldn't keep it together, either of us, because we just kept on riffing and changing it and throwing each other curveballs, and that's what's cool, is it makes for really kind of fun, spontaneous moments.
Yeah.
You know, that might not have been there to begin with, but he's always game, and you know, we have a blast.
And if you watched him on Saturday Night Live, you could always know when he's just like.
But isn't that like the best
Yeah.
though? I mean, a lot of people complain about when people are about to laugh, but I feel like that moment, that tiny moment where someone is about to break, it's such a beautiful moment. And I start to just crack up immediately when I see someone is about to do that.
If you're watching now and this week's episode,
Yes.
there's a moment like that too. You guys are out in the desert, and if you watch carefully, you'll see Bill just like lean down his head because
Yep.
you say something
Just turn away ever so slightly. I know, they're almost like Easter eggs.
If you ever, if you watch the episodes again and you ever see Bill Hader like looking down or looking away or biting his lip.
I think we all have those
You have
kind
to
of
do that
moments.
too?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there are times where it's like, I'm sure someone could go through and make a compilation of just little screenshots of every time we just like so strained to like
Right.
not smile or not laugh. But it's the best though.
That is the best.
You know, it's really one of the perks of the job.
Yeah, and it's so funny to talk about those kinds of moments and then just remember that the show is so dark.
It's
too.
so dark and so bleak. Yeah, I know it needs that. It needs that kind of levity.
Yeah. We have some questions we've been asking everyone who comes in.
Okay, great.
What is the last show that you binge watched?
The last show that I binge watched was actually the entire season of Game of Thrones, getting ready for this season.
So the last season of,
Yeah, well, this whole like every season up until this point, just went through all of it.
You're talking about every episode.
Every episode of Game of Thrones. Yeah, over the last like 3 months.
What was that like?
Great. I mean, it's such a massive show, and you obviously kind of tune out on certain details, so it's certainly worth going back for it.
So it's fresh in your mind. Who's going to win Game of Thrones?
Oh, I don't know. It'd be cool to see Tyrion win. I think Tyrion's awesome, but also Arya. I mean, Arya is such a badass. So
After that last episode.
after that last episode, it's just like, cool, take it, take the throne.
It's yours,
Just
you've
here,
earned it.
we'll size it to you. You
Yeah.
know, we'll send it to you.
What classic TV show would you have liked to have been on?
Ooh, what classic TV show would I have liked to have been on? Let's see. I think it would have been really fun to have been on. Gosh, I'm wondering whether to go, how far back to go, like elementary school, middle school. I don't know. It'd be really kind of fun to be on like something like Saved by the Bell. Just to kind of, that would be so surreal because I
Yeah.
grew up like coming home straight from school and watching Saved by the
Yeah.
Bell. So to be on Saved by the Bell would just be hilarious, you
Yeah.
know, with a giant phone and like, some sort of teenage problem.
Yeah. You'd probably have adult problems if you had been on Saved by the Bell.
That's true.
Yeah.
I know, for sure. Probably playing another villain, but whatever.
What's the worst job that you've had?
The worst job that I've had, let's see. I worked doing cold storage. I worked in a cold storage unit for a summer,
Yeah.
and it was so cold, obviously so cold, and it was just freezing and smelled like fish, because seafood on
So
the
you
East
go
Coast.
home and yeah.
Yeah. So not
It smelled like fish.
Yeah, not my favorite. Not my favorite.
Okay. What has you more excited, the Sopranos prequel or the Breaking Bad sequel?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't know. Honestly, I think maybe the Sopranos prequel. That
Yeah.
sounds pretty epic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna watch both.
Yeah. It's a tough choice.
It
It's
is a tough
it's like
choice.
Beatles or Stones.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, you really can't choose.
Okay. I can't wait. Hader was saying that episode 7
Yeah.
he got notes back from HBO on episodes. The note on episode 7 was just wow.
Yeah.
That was the only note HBO had.
It's a spectacle. I will say that. It's a wild ride. And certainly, I mean, this season I think has been the coolest of anything I've ever done. Just in terms of fleshing out a character and having this character be put in such ridiculous situations. And it's certainly action-packed. It gets really dark. And yet, somehow remains pretty hysterical too.
And because the fans have had your back,
Right.
we know probably
That's right.
NoHo Hank's going to come out okay.
Yeah.
Probably.
That's right,
If they
HBO.
choose the right ending.
You know what I'm saying? Can't kill him off before a backstory, apparently. That's the hashtag, right? Yeah.
Thanks for coming in today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
For more of these conversations, you can go to latimes.com. Thanks for watching.